Hello and welcome back to Boopolo channel. My name is Pascal. Today I am going to do a comparison video of two kit cameras from Canon, the R6 Mk2 with the L lens and with the normal non-L lens, and we have both of them here together to show you, because mostly people will show you one and then show you the other. Why? Because number one, maybe they don't have two cameras, or number two, maybe they are using one of their cameras down there. Now I will be honest with you, I use one of them down there usually, so I'm using a different one. So the difference between the two of them is immense when you look at them like this on the overhead camera. So what we're going to do, besides going through the details on them, the cameras are obviously exactly the same, and I've reviewed both lenses before, but on the lens, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you measurements and weights. I will tell you some of the advantages of the USM f4.0L versus the non-L. This one is twice the weight of this lens on its own. Having said that, this slower lens has one advantage over this, in that it's better for macro, because it can go into 130 something millimeter, 130 millimeters, or 0.13 meters, versus the L version, which is 0.45. 0.45 is somewhere around 18 inches. So you can only go 18 inches, but it is not a macro lens, neither of them are. They both have a range of 24 to 105, which I find is very, very good range for if you're taking the camera about for normal shooting. They both have the control ring. One of the main reasons a lot of people will buy the L lens, besides the better optics, is that it is a weather resistant lens, and the camera of course is weather resistant. The weather seals are in here, and in the lens you can see the weather seal here when you take this off. They both have autofocus, manual focus button in the same place. So if you're changing from one to the other, and the stabilizing button is on underneath it in the exact same position. But when you lift this one up like this, and you lift this one up like this, there is a huge difference in the weight. This one is tilting down like this on you. They both have 5-stop image stabilization. This one will give you better bokeh. The rounded blades on this one, it has 9 of them, whereas this one only has 7. The filter size on this one is 67 millimeters, and the filter size on this is 82 millimeters. I have a UV filter on both of them. They don't come with a HUD. You have to buy the HUDs separately. I have 2 HUDs here that I use. I'm going to give you measurement of the length of them from the eyepiece to the front of the lens at 24 millimeters, and there is not a huge difference when they're zoomed out, but when they're zoomed into 24, there is. Without the filter, it's 191 for the L lens, which is a little bit over 7.5 inches. For the USM one, it is 155 or 6 1/8 inches. So when I zoom this one out to there, to 105, and then when I zoom this one out, this one has a lock on it to hold it in so it won't zoom out on you. So we will open the lock. The lock is here on the side of the right-hand side of the lens, and then we will zoom this one out and show you how far. So there is not a huge difference between them. I will turn them on their side here so you can see them from the front camera, and that's what they look like. Approximately 1 inch. This one is 220 millimeters, or 8 5/8 inches, whereas this one without the filter is 200. So there is only 20 millimeters in the difference. The main difference is that at 105 millimeters, this one out here at 105 is 7.1 aperture, which is pretty slow. And this one remains at f4 the whole way out. So this remains at f4. So that makes quite a difference when you are in low light. Plus the fact that it is a better glass as well in it. What we're going to do now is we are going to weigh them. I don't know if anybody has weighed them. I haven't seen anybody weighing them in their, with the lens and the camera on together. So what we will do is we will do the big one first. I will give it to you in metric and I will give it to you in imperial. So it's coming in at 1517 grams. So it's 1.5 kilos. Or 53.46 ounces in that configuration. That is including a couple of grams for the UV on the front of it. So I'm going to do the small one, the USM one, and it's only 106 grams. So it's like, this one is like, altogether is nearly 50% heavier than the USM one. That is because the USM has much more glass in them. The weight goes into the glass itself. So it's 400. It's nearly 50% heavier, including the camera. And if you want that in ounces, it's coming in at only 37.6, as we said, versus the 53.5. So there is a huge difference in the weight. Okay, so some people prefer to, sometimes a light camera is going to be better. I know you all like, personally, I don't find much difference between these when I'm out and about. If I'm taking a few photographs. If you're using it all day, you will not be holding it like that all the time. You'll pop it onto a tripod or whatever like that. Mainly because of aperture and weather sealing, where you're taking the camera out and about, I would definitely say buy the USM. If you're only going to be in the studio and doing videos in a studio or taking photographs in a studio, buy the STM. And save yourself $800 and buy maybe another lens. If you're going to be taking this one out and it gets wet, you're going to be covering it up and you might miss the shot. So I use this one for video inside. If I'm going outside, I will always bring the USM weather sealed one. I am not going to do a review of the lenses and the camera itself, as I've already done them. You can check back. I'll put a link in the description where you can buy both of these. Sometimes they come up as renewed, which is usually where somebody buys it and hands it back again, and they're also brand new. You can save yourself a few $100s. So I will put some links where I think you can get the best price at the moment for of these. I will put Amazon links and I will put other links also if I can find a good price. So thank you very, very much for watching. And if you like this video, any of our other videos, please subscribe.